Hello, Arthur. Arthur, if I were to ask you, what would you think an animalic fragrance is? In fact, I'll ask you, what do you think an animalic fragrance is?
One that smells of living creatures
Yep.
that aren't plants.
Yeah.
Well, it smells like animals, but I sound stupid when I say that.
Well, it's not unreasonable, but and that's a very good answer. And it's sort of the one I was hoping you'd say. But I thought we would talk about some materials which people think of as animalic, call them animalic, which don't smell much like living animals, I think, and some which I think do smell like living animals, but are not made from animals. I mean, some of them are made from animals and do smell animalic. I can't find the Hyraceum. I think it's at home. But Hyraceum is the most animalic of animalics. This is from the rock Hyrax, which is a sweet little fluffy rodent. And it's made from, it's sometimes called fossilized Hyrax. It's not fossilized, it's more like years and years of compacted pee and poo from a whole tribe. What's the collective noun for rock hyraxes, I wonder? You look it up, thank you. Herd. It's not herd, they're too small. Group. Well, they live in bundles. The whole bundle of rock hyraxes, It's called
a provocation?
No?
No, a procavidae.
Are you making this up? Okay.
No.
Procavidae.
Procavidae.
Is
Or is that just the name for a rock hyrax?
I think maybe that's the group that they belong to. I think it's maybe their classification.
Oh, it's the family. It's the family. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they are, though. They're them.
Cute things.
Okay, so let's call it a family. Very, very, very big family. A village. A whole village of... Imagine they all choose the same place for that. You don't have to imagine. They do choose the same place for their toilet.
Yeah.
For
civilized
decades.
Civilized rodents.
Yes, hundreds of years. And then somebody decided it was a really good idea to dig this up and use it in perfume.
Great.
But it is a traditional healing instrument, tool, material. And I don't know what it heals, but it does. And perfumery material in South Africa.
It's probably an aphrodisiac.
Aren't
Everything
they all?
like that.
Aren't they all?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's recently been used in Western perfume, and I think that is pretty much as animalic as you get. Not only is it from an animal, it is actually waste product, compacted, dug up and turned into perfume material. I have some. It's all right. So, from a perfume perspective, I haven't used it in anything yet.
Does it smell like? Is it gross?
Let's face it, if you were told that's where it comes from and you smelt it, you wouldn't be surprised.
Right, okay.
Put it like that. I mean, it's not terrible.
It's
in the amount, isn't it? A tiny amount of that can make it smell a bit sort of interestingly active. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Now, you see, technically it's not vegan because it's an animal product. But you almost think,
It's definitely
do you
vegan.
actually count poo as? I mean, it doesn't harm them. Maybe they're really annoyed if someone comes up and digs up their toilet.
Are they battery farming these creatures?
No.
For their feces? Then I think.
Well,
that it's...
yeah. So, but anyway, it is used. So that I would say that is as if you're looking for on a scale of 1 to 100 animalic. This one hits 100.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Working back from that, And I've got a question about ethics about this as well. Okay. Right, this is Castoreum Absolutes, and somebody sent me a sample of this. I have not paid for it, but it exists. It is here. It's a bit solid at the moment because it's cold, but Absolutes tend to be loudest. Yeah, there you go. This is a leathery kind of a smell.
Yeah.
And I do. We have talked about it a little, I remember, because I accidentally said badgers when I meant beavers.
Yes.
This is taken from the castor sacs of culled beavers in North America, where they are killed because they are damaging the environment. They're damaging the wildlife. Just they get a bit carried away. And so some people say, well, it's fine to use it then because they're going to be killed anyway. What's the point of throwing them away when they produce some stuff that smells? So that's used as a leather material. I use the synthetic recreation. If I use it, that's what I have bought. I don't use the animal one. That is my choice. It is not illegal to use this because it's not, here's the irony, it's not tested on animals, they just kill them and use it. So it's illegal to test them on animals, but it's not illegal to use Castoreum, which comes from cold beavers, not badgers. Yeah, so it's it's natural. But there's just all so much more complicated, isn't it? Here's one. I'm not going to show you the lid. I'm going to let you smell it and you can smell what you think. Now that's interesting. Arthur's noises seem to be turned off.
Yeah, I mean it's nice, nice enough. It smells like tobacco.
It's Beeswax Absolute. Do you want to
Yes. Yes. I was going to say Beeswax Absolute, but I thought that was too obvious.
Always slightly obvious. Yes, just in case. Yeah. So this is it's beeswax then treated to take the aroma out of it. Now the bees do fly off and leave it there, so it is left behind. But again, technically not vegan.
Yeah.
Yes to vegetarian, and it just gives this lovely honey, slightly tobacco-y, as you say, furniture polish kind of a, as I say, noise, smell. Our musks, I've got 3 musks here. One is my...
Wow.
Yeah, this is solid right now. It has to get quite warm not to be solid. There's a short film I put at once of it recrystallising as it goes completely clear. Okay, not coming out. Here you go. Aurelion. So I only recently discovered Aurelion. There's so many materials out there. And this is a musk. And this is it's the most weird of musks that I have used, I would say. This is not the smell of clean washing powder, which a lot of musks smell very, very clean, and I tend to talk about them in terms of fluffy bunny kind of animalic cleanliness. There's a musk pod itself taken from what's technically a goat. They are illegal over here. They are endangered, the animals, and so I wouldn't dream. But there's a certain kind of group of people who want to do illegal things, who want, and they feel that it's more authentic than synthetic musks, and I don't. For myself, that's not important. It's not authenticity doesn't justify shooting the animal, and it's endangered animal. So, but this is not a clean musk smell for me. This is old books which have gone a bit damp and then got.
I like it. It's very
nice. I like it.
Yeah.
But
it is a bit.
It's charity shop clothing for me, Aurelio.
Yeah.
And it reminds me very much of an old house where not my great aunt Pyrrha, but my great aunt Henrietta used to live. In fact, probably my great great aunt Henrietta used to live in Sherburn Hall in County Durham, and
yeah, it does smell like something that a great aunt Henrietta's house would smell
it
like.
had a certain. Also, there has been cabbage cooked in the kitchen down the corridor thing about it.
Yes, but the cabbage was cooked last night.
Yeah, possibly last week.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I don't like it, because you put it in with other musks, the richness, and it's interesting. And since I discovered, I've started using it in everything. But this is the one that said in the Horst Surberg and Johannes Panthen book about materials in use in perfumery and flavours. They said that it adds erogenous notes in for a multitude of uses or something like that. So I thought, well, I have to smell this.
Yeah.
I still think it smells like charity shops, but...
And it looks great as well.
Looks like
Sort of solid block.
yes.
That just dissolves in alcohol, does it? You don't have to heat it up.
Well, to get it out, you have to heat it up.
Right.
But it does dissolve in alcohol, but I just put it near the radiator.
Yes.
And it warms up. I mean, if you have a proper bain-marie and put it, fine, but put it near the radiator and it melts. So, yes, good. As a block. Other musks? Let's go with Helvetica Light. Just in case we've forgotten what musks smell like, you know.
I love Helvetica Light. I absolutely love it.
That makes
It's one of my favourites.
happy.
My favourite things in the studio.
Yes. And this is one that is quite it's quite a perky musk.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
I just want more of it. I just want it to just be more.
Pause musk over Arthur.
Yeah, it's really like it's only just there, but it's really complex.
It's complex in that what I think happens is that this one single molecule just kind of lights up lots of areas of the brain. So we're going, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's very different from something. Yes. It's funny. It's like it doesn't smell of clothes that need washing. It just smells of clothes that were washed a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that with this,
Yeah.
interesting. And I find it's not overwhelming. It sort of just adds rich, I don't know, okay, minor obsession with the orange.
Yes.
So Helvetica Light, if you were to say which animal does that come from, the answer would probably be it comes from an animal. You know, it's not. But it is technically animalic because it's a musk, and it's designed to smell like the actual tinctures that you would make from the contents of a musk pod, which came from an animal in the past. So it's not all of them, it's some of them. So then moving on over, leather would be counted as an animalic smell. Now, there are arguments for whether or not you'd want something to smell like leather because it reminds people of, you know, dead cows.
Yes.
So it's a bit like it's like getting that vegan smoke, the vegan salmon, the vegan sushi that looks like salmon and acts a bit like salmon and tastes a bit like salmon, but then some people might say, but why would you want to glorify eating fish? So this isobutylquinoline is. So I've gone Yoda again.
It smells quite. It smells quite. Not vinegary, sort of acidic.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yes, it does. It's got this kind of balsamic vinegar thing going on.
Very, very slightly, yeah.
So, so Isobutyl I've been asked to say the names more slowly and clearly. Isobutyl quinoline.
Yeah, split the difference.
Slowed me down. Yeah, isobutyl quinoline plus patchouli plus white birch is used to make a basic accord smell of Russian leather. So early leather fragrances all had this in them. So if you're going to make a leather fragrance, go with that. But it's not made from an animal. I have heard of people tincturing pieces of leather to make a leather smell, but the stuff that people that people cure leather with, you wouldn't want in a perfume.
No.
So do not take pieces of leather and tincture
Soak
them
it in.
and think that it's going to be good for your skin. Yes, yeah, exactly. You're safer off with, like, better the chemicals you know than the chemicals you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, I like that.
Natural or synthetic, do you think? We'll play that game.
Synthetic.
And natural.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Styrax. And see, I think Styrax smells. It's like if you could make a honey leather, or a leather honey, I think it would smell a bit like this.
Is this in Dirty Honey?
No, but the weird thing is, it
Smells a bit like Dirty
dirty
Honey,
honey
yeah.
ends up smelling like this.
Yeah, it does.
But there is benzoin in dirty honey, and they kind of overlap a little bit on the scale of lovely balsamic. It's quite interesting hearing the plasterers in the background of the. But
Yeah,
that's
hanging
fine.
out the window.
It wouldn't be the same. But if we hear a crash, then we worry.
Yeah.
But okay, so Styrax, I think if you're thinking of an animalic note, you might not necessarily think of taking natural things made from plants, but I would go that one. I've got it's like my last tiny bit of natural oud here that I bought back from Dubai. It says oud sunfi. Oh, it's from Oman, and they do. I'll give you the bottle to sniff.
Oh.
So because the tree is effectively, fungused up by an animal, by a fungus, which is not an animal or a plant, it is a fungus.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Closer related to animals than plants.
Yes. So it's not just the tree, it's what's happened to the tree when it's been infected. Didn't want that on your nose. So.
That is really, really nice.
But I'd have to go. But you certainly would imagine that you could encounter such an aroma while wandering around the zoo.
Yeah. It smells of something from my deep childhood that I can't put my finger
But
on.
then you went off on your deep childhood exploring India, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you didn't have the normal sort of deep childhood aromas. It wouldn't be toy shop.
No, that's
It'd be
true.
like,
Soup somewhere.
how old were you when you first went somewhere really ridiculously exciting as a small
I
child?
had my second birthday in India.
Right.
Yeah, and then
There you go then.
the first time I went through the Amazon rainforest, I was 12. I say through, I mean I was only in there for a couple of weeks. It's one of the most terrifying
I
experiences of
thought
my
you were going to
life.
say a couple of hours. So that's my idea of through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was something else.
Why were you terrified?
Been there twice.
Okay.
Because everything wants to kill you.
That's a point.
Everything will kill you. There's no safety. It's the terrifying. I remember vividly going out on a little canoe onto the Amazon River, fishing for piranhas for dinner. And then after we'd caught loads of piranhas with little bits of chicken, which I was thinking, why aren't we eating the chicken? We then had a swim in the same place. And then I also remember getting out of the water one day and seeing genuinely, an anaconda going into the water. I was going, oh, I'm never getting in that again.
Yep.
Saw the pink dolphins though.
Well, and you lived to tell the tale.
Yeah. It was truly great.
Okay.
This is lovely.
Yes.
Is this benzoin?
This is Atlas cedar.
Oh, Atlas, the cedar woods, cedar Virginian, Atlas cedar, all of that stuff. I always mistake them for other things.
Well, it's easily done. Out of context, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
This stuff is really difficult. And it's really difficult for everybody. If someone just comes up to me with a strip and says, "What's this?" and I just think, I'm not going to know what it is and I'm going to look like an idiot. Even now. But mind you, you know how much I care about looking like an idiot. I don't care. So, but I'd rather get it right. But yes, this... zoo smell to me.
Yeah, it is.
Zoo smells. Maybe we should just call the film Zoo Smells. You know.
Zoo smells great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Les matériaux olfactifs des jardins zoologiques.
Yeah, that's nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
Although the Atlas cedar does smell like a zoo, but it smells like it doesn't smell like an animal. It smells like the room that an animal has lived in. In a wooden. It smells like a bat house.
I've been in a bat house. Yeah, Singapore.
Yeah.
They dangle about here.
Yeah. Bats, wonderful things.
Love a bat. You see, Australian. There was a big argument. Oh no, it's in New Zealand. The bird of the year.
Is a bat?
Yeah, the
Oh,
bat.
really?
Well, there's been a lot of ornithological arguments.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes, because it was awarded to a bat, got bird of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good on it.
And I mean, obviously, other leather materials are available. Other woods are available. Other musks are available. This is a short tour of things that one could consider.
Ooh. It's woken me up.
It does.
It's jasmine.
It is jasmine. This is Jasmine Absolute. And the reason it's included is because of the indole in it, which comes from Poe. Apparently, so they synthesize it or pick it up from the ground and waft it out to attract insects by pretending to be... This is the Pooh film. Poohs and zoos. But other white flowers are available. Tuberose, orange flower, sweet little orange flower, indole. So I find this with the Atlas cedar. You've just thrown yours in the pile, so you don't know which is which. But this with the Atlas cedar.
I already did that.
Yeah, that's just one of my favourite.
Yes.
Weird combinations. Not for everyone.
It's very nice. Now I find, I mean, this is going to sound very obvious, but smelling things next to each other on two separate strips, it doesn't, to me, give a very accurate indication of what they would smell like if they were both on the same strip.
Oh.
Which I know is absolute drivel.
No, not drivel. No, interesting. Well, it's a very, very, very early experiment when you put things on the strip together. What you want to do is create a sort of a cloud of the aroma. So that's what you do.
Right. So rather than smelling the strips,
you waft them a bit, and so you're making this aroma cloud. Comme ça. I want to take the isobutyl quinoline out there because isobutyl quinoline, people find that it doesn't seem that strong. This is at 5%. It doesn't seem that strong until it's with lots of other things, and then suddenly they all seem to go, "Hey, isobutyl quinoline, you go to the front here.
Yeah.
You know, you be centre forward." I'm doing football things again. It's never the goalie, the isobutyl quinoline. It's the David Beckham of the perfume world. So, that is today's whistle stop tour of the zoo.
Yes.
And maybe what have we done? Brought it in under 30 minutes? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's under 30 minutes.
Well, go us.